What's up, everyone? We're back.
Dr. Maxfield,
Dr. Shah, and welcome back to our channel, Doctorly, where we talk about all things skincare and dermatology. What are we talking about today?
So this was actually based off of you. You all took the chance to tell us what you wanted to see more of this year, and one of the top things was actually skincare routines, products, ingredients by skin type. So we're going to jump into that today. We're going to talk about oily skin. How do you build a routine for oily skin?
Ooh, okay. So I have more like combination skin, maybe a little bit on the drier side. He has skin more on the oily side, so he's always looking for things to mattify. I'm looking for things that make me glowy, dewy, but I can still make recommendations because I have a lot of patients that have oily skin. So we're going to be talking about our favorite products for oily skin and also how to build a routine for oily skin. Before we get started, a little bit of housekeeping. This is a new thing for us this year. We never do this in our videos. Please like, comment, subscribe. We'll put some links below because we are trying to grow our Facebook community where we're answering questions directly from experts. We're responding to questions. We're putting results of polls. We're doing polls. And we're getting a lot of good information. Sign up for our newsletter. We'll be sending more typed out information to you to learn more about skincare and skin routines in general. So today, all things oily skin. Here we go.
Here we go.
So starting off, we always talk about why things happen the way that they do. So why do we get oily skin in the first place?
Well, it's because we have oil glands, right? So this is the biggest, I don't know, actually it's not. I was gonna say this is like one of the things that people are bothered most about their skin if you have oily skin, but it's not. It's usually pores. But everything we have in our skin has a purpose, and our oil glands are no exception. So we have multiple different types of glands in our skin. Some of them make prototypical sweat. Some of them make those pheromones that we still don't really know what pheromones are for. And then some other glands, the sebaceous glands, are made up of a combination of fatty substances, and that's what creates the oil on our skin primarily, and that's also what is functionally protecting our skin, but leaving some people a bit dewy, more dewy than they would like.
So people have sebaceous glands, they produce oil, and then some things influence you to produce more oil. One of these things is genetics, so that's obviously hard to control. The other piece of it is hormones, which is a lot of times why you see acne flare during menstrual cycles, during puberty, is because that increased hormonal influence on the sebaceous glands causes more oil production, which leads to oilier skin and also leads to an increased risk of acne.
And like I just said, these oils serve a purpose. So the things that are in the sebaceous glands are familiar things: triglycerides, squalene, which is similar to squalane that we find in skincare products, wax esters. All of this has a very helpful role in protecting our skin.
Right. So we need oils and we need pores. So we don't want to completely eliminate these things. But let's talk about specific ingredients that you can look for in your products to solve this issue of oily skin. I think the easiest way is to do what we always do, which is like break these into categories. So one, you could look for ingredients that actually inhibit or stop oil production. That's number one category. Number two, you can have ones that actually remove oils from the skin. And three, you can have ones that actually absorb oils on the skin. So that's the three different categories, and those are the ingredients that you're gonna look for.
So building off of that, these are some ingredients you can look for and where they fit into each of those roles. So for the ingredients that kind of regulate the oil production, it's not a long list, and I think one is certainly more effective than the rest. What is that ingredient? Retinoids. It's like the whole family of retinoids, just great at inhibiting oil production. Then I think we talked about this a lot of times, but our second tier here is your green tea and niacinamide. Which is more effective? Who knows? I think they're probably fairly similar. And then there are some studies showing that azelaic acid might actually inhibit oil production. I have that as my third tier. I'm not 100% sure about how consistently it works, but there are some studies that do support that as well.
So that's inhibiting oil production. Now let's talk about removing oil from the skin. I would say salicylic acid. I feel like you always get to shout out retinol. I always get to shout out salicylic acid. But you know, salicylic acid is the only exfoliating acid that is oil soluble, is able to penetrate into your pores, and as a result removes oil from the skin. So salicylic acid, definitely sort of a sister of that. I just talked about this in another video, would be lipohydroxy acid. And then another thing would be like your clay masks. Those are also going to remove oils from the skin. So your bentonite clay, your what's the other clay?
Kaolin
clay. Those actually, when you put them on and you wash them off, they lift oils away from the skin. And then the last category would be oil absorbing ingredients, and those are like silica and perlite, and you'll see that in some mattifying moisturizers. They just tend to suck up oil and give you more of like a matte finish. And so those are the ingredients you're looking for when you're looking for an oily skin routine. So now let's specifically help you all with products. So if you didn't want to listen to any of that, you could skip to this part of the video because this is where you're going to build your routine.
Right. And we'll just kind of, let's adopt this. Let's adopt this into our skincare routine. So we've talked about this in our very basic video, our very basic video that lives on our page. Cleanse, treat, protect. These are the tenets, right? So we're going to talk about things that you're going to cleanse your face with. We'll talk about the products that contain some of these active ingredients, and then moisturizers and SPF. The first step is cleansing.
So cleansing, you could go with, and I find this is not universally true. Don't jump down my throat about this, but foaming cleansers tend to remove oils better, in my opinion, than more your gentle hydrating cleansers. Look for a foaming cleanser if you're looking for a cleanser like that in general, or you can look for cleansers that have salicylic acid in it. Now, if you don't have acne, you probably don't need a high concentration of salicylic acid. A small concentration of salicylic acid, like 0.5%, something that you would see in like CERAVE's SA cleanser, but maybe not their acne control cleanser because that one has 2% salicylic acid, which may be a little bit drying if you just don't specifically have acne. But I would say foaming cleansers. Let's shout out some foaming cleansers. What do you got?
Oh, I have a foaming cleanser for you. It's actually not behind me. I'm going to grab it because I'm right where it is.
All right, well, I'll shout out a foaming cleanser until he comes back. The CERAVE foaming cleanser. Is that the one that you were going to go with?
No.
Okay, the CERAVE foaming cleanser would be a foaming cleanser that you could start with.
So yeah, foaming cleansers, agrees. CERAVE foaming cleanser, nice. So this one is the ROCHE-POSAY Toleriane Purifying Foaming Cleanser. Every product from this brand's name is a mouthful, but the lather on this is just extraordinary. I love a lather. I think foaming cleansers get a lot of hate, but I personally enjoy them quite a bit. So I'm thrilled that he brought this up. Like SSS tier lather, love it.
Yeah, so this is a premier product. In fact, there was a period where I went on a trip. All I had was nothing, but okay. Quick story time. There was a period where I was traveling and I was on a rotation visiting a clinic, and I only brought this cleanser. I didn't have shampoo, body wash, or a facial cleanser dedicated. And this was able to fill all three of those roles. That's how good this product is. So you can use this as a shampoo. Don't say I said to do that, but you could do that. And then I would say you can also try like the CeraVe SA cleanser. Small amount of salicylic acid is phenomenal at removing oil. So that's where I'd start, a foaming cleanser, an SA cleanser, and then you'd move on to the treat stage.
So now with the treatment stage, so we actually haven't talked about toners in a while, positively or negatively. I actually don't believe in the word toner anymore because toners, most of them aren't really astringents, which is what they used to be. Like a toner, it's like a watery version of most of your other actives commonly nowadays. So I wanted to declare this should be the year of the toner. It's probably not. But here's the nice one. This is like a staple for me. It's the ISNTREE Green Free Fresh Toner. Again, this is as lightweight and refreshing a toner as you could ever hope for. I think it serves a perfect purpose for a gentle toner for oily skin. Helps with that oil control. Very nice and refreshing.
Completely agree. It's an affordable toner. It has that high concentration of green tea, which is going to make it very effective for controlling that oil production. Then I think if we're on a night routine, you can use that green tea toner morning and night, but for a night routine, then I would add in probably retinol.
Yes. So yes, retinol. We have a couple here. There are an infinite number of amazing retinol options.
And we have a whole video on retinol and which retinols are best for oily skin. In fact, it's like part of our retinol video.
I don't even remember that.
So you can watch it. We did retinol by skin type, didn't we?
I don't think this exists.
It's fake.
I don't think we did retinol by skin type.
We did not do retinol by skin type, actually. Coming soon in 2023, retinol by skin type. Today, we are going to be highlighting the MAELOVE series of retinoids. So first up, you have the Stargaze Enhanced Retinol. This is a regular retinol, but it has the complemented benefit of having niacinamide, which we also mentioned is good at controlling oil, versus the Moonlight Retinal Serum, which has retinaldehyde, which is one-step conversion of retinol, maybe slightly more effective than your regular retinol.
Now, I want to highlight the
MAELOVE looks like highlighter fluid. That's why you want to highlight it.
Did I get a dad joke for the non-dad in the room?
I'm a dog dad.
It's true. He is a dog dad. He's like been a parent longer than I ever have been. This is the yellowest. It's turmeric yellow or curry yellow, I guess I would say.
Okay.
But the reason I wanted to highlight this is the best, in my opinion. This is my favorite smelling product I've ever experienced. Just the experiential side of skincare is my favorite.
It smells very citrusy. I'm gonna have to look into this.
Which is weird. See, what I get from it though is like a honeysuckle, and I don't remember if there actually is honeysuckle. But so in the South we have there are flowers, and inside of the flower there's a stem, and you pull out the stem. There's like a drop of what tastes like honey in it, and so I have very fond memories of this adventurous little flower. Now, Dr. Shaw he pointed out the fact that this is very yellow, and I think I said in a previous video it doesn't leave your skin yellow, and I apologize. It's actually kind of does. So this is so yellow, in fact, and there's no way you'll probably see this, but it does leave a little bit of a yellow tint. And I do have stains on a lot of my carpets. I spill a lot of product when I shoot videos because I throw things, but this definitely can stain.
Okay, well, fair enough. But you're using it at night anyway, so people shouldn't know that you look like a Simpson after using this product. So that would be your night routine, and then you'd follow it with Protect at night, which would be a moisturizer. So what moisturizer are we going to highlight for oily skin?
So this is a moisturizer we've highlighted before. Well, we have two. Okay. So
actually highlighted in product of the year.
Yeah.
In fact.
Reasonably so.
So this is the ROCHE-POSAY Toleriane Double Repair Matte Moisturizer for oily skin. The reason why this is great for oily skin is, like I had mentioned, it's got niacinamide, perlite, and silica in it. So it's got both oil controlling ingredients and oil absorbing ingredients that give you that matte finish. So you still get the benefit of having the ceramides and the glycerin and the hydrating ingredients that protect and restore your skin barrier, but then you have the ingredients that help to control that oil production that a lot of people with oily skin hate. That would be a complete night routine.
It would. And the alternative we have up here is just for someone who actually specifically has acne prone skin or has dark spots from acne, this CETAPHIL mattifying acne moisturizer, salicylic acid treatment. This thing is, if that one hadn't come out, this would have made my list last year because this is just a little more dedicated. I think it's more towards that acne skin. Amazingly hydrating for a lightweight moisturizer. Not only does it have the salicylic acid, but it also has a couple other ingredients that help target dark spots and that post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation.
It's a great product for sure, and definitely gives you that more matte finish. So that's your simple night routine for oily skin. Cleanse, the toner, the retinol, the moisturizer for oily skin. And now let's talk about a morning routine, which is not going to deviate much from this.
Right. So same thing here. You're going to treat, you can use a lot of the same products like a toner in the morning as well. But then the main difference here, is just going to be the sunscreen. And so sunscreen is actually, might be the biggest battle for people with oily skin because a lot of sunscreens, in order to get them to blend, feel pretty oily. Like you'll find that a lot of the sunscreens really sit oily, really leave you dewy. And so it takes the right sunscreen to sit with oily skin. So when you look at it, you can either look for a lightweight option that either has niacinamide in it to help with oil control, and you can skip that step earlier in your routine if you already had a niacinamide ingredient, or replace it. Or you can look for what I found, some of the mineral sunscreens, they actually are a little mattifying in and of themselves. And so we have a couple options here for you.
Okay, so you would cleanse. You can use that same foaming cleanser from the nighttime or the SA cleanser from the nighttime. You can again use that green tea toner, and then you can use another treatment like a niacinamide treatment, or you could skip right to a sunscreen that's going to have that same benefit. So let's bring out those sunscreens. Yes. It's back.
It's back.
ISNTREE is making 2 appearances in this video. So one option, the ISNTREE Hyaluronic Acid Watery Sun Gel, which because it's more of that watery gel consistency, tends to be better for oily skin. Another option that I don't have in hand for oily skin would be the CETAPHIL Pro Oil Control Sunscreen. It's SPF 30. I don't think I've ever seen it at a store. I've only seen it at our offices. And my patients with oily skin tend to love this product. I don't even know where you can buy it. We'll try to find a link for you. But that's another great option.
So this one is the more mineral sunscreen. This is a release from later last year, Dermatology's Daydream sunscreen. We just mentioned it in passing in one of our other videos, but this one is a thicker sunscreen because it's just purely zinc oxide, which always is a little heavier. But the way it sits, sometimes I wonder why I do this because I'm so far from the camera, but it blends, which is a trick in and of itself. For a non-tinted sunscreen that's mineral to actually blend relatively easily, that's a huge achievement. But this also doesn't sit dewy for me. Once it sets, I feel like it's a little bit, I think it's a little bit mattifying. Another one that I do believe also fits this role, it's from DERMA E, and they have, I don't know, the naming on this one's weird. It's like a scar protection scar thing, but it's actually a really great mineral SPF. Again, it kind of leaves a little drying effect and it blends amazingly well. So those are my 2 options for non-niacinamide sunscreens.
I'll throw in one last choice here in the matte sunscreen is Black Girl they have their regular moisturizing sunscreen that I think came out first, and then they also have a matte sunscreen that's again a chemical sunscreen but more mattifying, and those do really well for people with oily skin. And so that's all you need for an oily skin routine, and that's also going to be a little bit of anti-aging in there. There's going to be a little bit of exfoliation in there for texture, and so it's going to be an overall good skincare routine for oily skin, and it's pretty simple, 3 or 4 steps.
Yeah, that's it. When you're starting, because this is dedicated for someone who's either lost in their skincare or starting skincare, so when you're at that point, just build a foundational regimen and then you can tweak and personalize from there. So this is just meant to give you the starting blocks, the building blocks, and then from there you can just go at it and personalize this throughout the year.
Perfect. Simple, starting it off right this year. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure that you check out our links below. Join our Facebook group, join our newsletter, join our Doctorly community, which will be growing throughout the year. We love you all so much.
Yeah, we appreciate you all. We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Got it. Okay, so what causes oily skin? Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
Also, things like crap.
Cholesterol.
Yeah, there's one more thing I really wanted to highlight. Let's do that again.